Bam! We're back.
We're
Episode
back.
2. What's up, man? Talk to me, man.
Doing well. I can't believe we're doing this again.
Yes, man. I'm very excited about this one. Excited about this whole project that we have started. We've planted the seed. Now we must water it and give it shade and let it grow. Let it grow. Let it grow. Man, excited about this episode. Excited about what's coming for us. I think based on just everyone's response, man, I'm flabbergasted just by just everyone reaching out, everybody that has liked, subscribed, shared. It just goes to show that like me and you were right, that there's other crackheads that are in search of this, that want to hear this type of talk. And again, like we said in the first time, right, like we're not experts yet on anything really, except just like taking care of our family and kids. So this is just us talking about it, like on why we fall in love like with this stuff. So glad to see you again, man. How's everything in your like end of the world?
It's awesome. And it's like the response we got just confirmed that this is like the coolest segment of the hobby to me. Like everybody, like there's so few assholes in this segment of the hobby. Like everybody's like supportive. Everybody's like, hey, love. We didn't even know what we were doing. And they checked out the episode and they're like, keep going. So I don't know. I just like a shout out to everybody who's kind of like listening and engaging and supporting us because it's just the best community.
The floodgates have been opened. Now they won't be able to get us off of their screens. We're here to stay, baby. We're here to stay. Man, just like so much to kind of like talk about. Just man, it was a great experience. Just kind of like what you said, just to see everyone talk about it. They even kind of like talked about us on the what's called like Discord show or whatever. And just hearing just people across the globe literally writing me, writing you. And I love this response. I gotta say, when we talked about it, I remember I think I said like after 5 or 6 months, like we may have like 150 views or something. And just to see that this is something so cool that like people have gone towards and that they do love, like, because I know me at nighttime when I'm here, when I'm like Batman and not Bruce Wayne, I like to be around my cards. I like to listen to stuff about this. So that's what I hope that this gives everybody. When you're with your cards, when you're organizing, looking up comps and trying to buy stuff, trying to see like what you need, what holes that you need to fill, that our voices are the ones that y'all are going to be hearing. So I'm seriously, I'm honored. And I'm sure that we both promise to keep holding it down for, the Primo crowd. And
Yeah.
And just keep getting better and keep learning, man, because I learned a lot on that one. I have a feeling I'm going to learn a lot on this episode. And so I'm ready, man. I'm ready for war, man.
It's like I run out of soccer card content to consume. So if we're adding a little bit to it, like, and everybody should add a little bit to it, I think that's a good thing. We got to keep the conversation going.
So folks that have done it before, keep doing it and restart it. If me and Matt are doing this, I think there's no excuse for anyone not to do it, because we are the two people that probably know like less about tech, about production, about soccer, man, compared to some of y'all dudes out there. So there shouldn't be no excuse if you're scared about putting yourself out there. I gotta admit, I mean, I am a glistening ham, so I freaking enjoy it. And yeah, man, let's start it off.
Yeah.
I want to say the first thing probably would be got to talk about Al getting a grail. I guess at times we kind of see Al as this big mafioso guy, but to see him act like a 12-year-old kid opening up a pack on a Saturday, that made me feel something, man. It made me want to go harder. It made me want to keep researching, keep going down these rabbit holes. For those that don't know, Al was able to acquire a grail. It's a 1940. I had to write this stuff down, man. I was like, holy shit. It's a 1946 Stefano Rompesesos. I don't know what the hell I just said, but
I'm
I know
glad you
it's
said that.
rare. I had never seen it. I had never heard about it. Well, I mean, I've actually heard him kind of like talk about it, like, a few times. But the whole point that I wanted to say was just the joy he had. Like, I felt that. I felt that watching that live, knowing Al, this dude has multiple companies, has a family. I mean, the dude is always busy. So whenever we see him, that's his free time. So to see him that excited about that card was incredible to see. And I'm telling you, man, it made me like, I hate to say this, but like what's called like younger, just like seeing him excited about it, knowing this man has every bottle of wine that he can want. He lives on the coast, family's healthy, like he's living his life. And to see him that excited, it just told me like, keep going harder after these grails, keep searching, keep researching. And in time, what you're looking for will appear. Right.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to start off with that, man. This is just incredible to see, man. Incredible to see.
Absolutely.
Next up, on our little list here, this is actually in a thing where we kind of thought this is a very, what's the word, polarizing topic. Want to talk about auction number 170. So for those that don't know, PWCC, I refuse to call it Fanatics, right?
Good. Yeah, we don't do that on this show.
Right,
We're
right.
PWCC.
It's PWCC. They're doing an auction where it's vintage and pre-war. I think the cutoff was 02, 03, 04. I'm not even sure the exact cutoff or 90s. I don't know, but they're doing this thing where they're getting a large amount of cards and stickers, and they're doing this auction. And so a lot of people are gearing up for it. A lot of people are sending in items. A lot of people, and I just kind of like I told you, I was like, to me, it's like the gift and the curse, right? As a collector, I'm thinking that there's going to be a lot of low hanging fruit. I think the more you flood, I don't think there's that much money in our thing as far as the amount of folks that are going after everything. So I think for one end, for people that are getting into this is great. There's going to be a lot of good stuff that will be on this auction. Looking long term, I think it's the curse. I think a lot of stuff is going to go super low. And for those that know, I'm not that pop report. I could tell you a price of a raw card that sold April 10th of 2002. Like I can't like break it down on that level, but I feel like a lot of stuff is going to go criminally low. And people like me, I'm gonna smell blood in like the water. I
You
think
got
I'm
that
gonna
dry
be
powder
careful.
ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna be ready to roll. So I'm excited as Champ's excited, but I guess Champ's future estate is not too excited. But I actually think it's cool that they're doing it. I do think we need something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's where it should be, but I'm cool with it. Like I said, I'm cool with it because I play both sides, right? So it's like I'll be ready to go, man. I'll be ready.
I
I cannot wait for that preview.
I know. I love it, like, as marketing for our segment. Like,
Yeah,
I love that we have like a thing, and they feel like it's important enough to kind of offer this special kind of auction for us. So I think that shows like serious progress, and I think that's awesome for our segment. But I do tend to agree with you, like, not only just the money, I mean the amount of competition and the amount of items that are going to be kind of going off at the same time. The collector in me is kind of excited about what might fall through the cracks, but then to your
yeah.
point, I'm a little bit scared about maybe some of the comps on stuff that we already have. So we just got to see what
Big
happens.
comps. But
Overall, I think like long term it could be good, but there might be maybe a little bit of pain in the short term.
but pain is good. Pain is good. I'm hoping to see a grail. I don't know what, but I'm hoping that I'm able to get something that I've been wanting, that some dude is gonna put something up that I've been waiting for, and I get to just chomp at it. So
And maybe the eyes and the money is somewhere else, and you
yeah.
get, yeah. So we'll see.
So yeah, we're crossing our fingers, right? Next up, want to talk about the SoCo Expo. It's coming up. It's the end of July. I know it's the last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The champ is 99.9% going. I leave that 0.01 in case I get shot at by some police or something or get jacked. But the champ will be there. I'm getting my what's called like plane ticket. I was trying to get some pricing on like a charter jet. You know, I wanted the champagne and the cheeses and the grapes.
You
And
can just take the PJ. You get the PJ up.
Take the PJ. The PJ is gonna be some like Ford truck. You know, what's called like hitchhike up north. Really save money. But man, I look, and this is crazy to say this. This is gonna feel like a high school or like a middle school field trip for me. This doesn't feel like this to me is like literally this is a holiday as they call it for me. I'm excited. Just the fact that I'm gonna be around our thing in the flesh. I'm gonna be able to see things that we've only seen scans of. Be around collectors, you know, and sellers, right? Because it's gonna be. I mean, by all accounts, their first one was incredible. Everyone I talked to told me it was freaking amazing. So that alone, like, sold me, like, I can't like miss this. And then Bill and Al kind of made a little comment, you know, disrespecting the champ, saying that I'm all talk, but
they challenged you,
right? Yeah, they
challenged your manhood.
So the champ will go to Chicago. Might see me on O Block. Might see me in a couple of spots. I'm excited, man. I honestly, man, I really hope that you could go. I'm trying to get Nils to go. I'm trying to. I may have to like offer him like 3 stacks just for a like appearance fee, just so he could go. Seb's going. I'm gonna be sharing a table with Seb.
Yeah, you got a table, right?
Yeah, so that I'm excited, man. Like I said, I've never been to a show. I've never sold a card, so I'm planning on documenting this experience because I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be literally a kid in like a candy store, walking around, meeting people, taking selfies with people. Like, I'm excited. This to me is what the hobby's all about. And if we could get in one place and be able to share our stuff, I mean, can you imagine that trade night?
Oh my God.
Like with just soccer, like pre-modern and vintage, pre-war, ultra modern. Like I know I'm gonna find some Colombian gold that I'm looking for there. There's gonna be some random dude from like what's called like Utah with like a stack of like fucking like Pive or James cards that I need that they probably have in some bin that I could come in and swoop. So I'm excited about it. My kids aren't too excited. My wife, she knows, but she doesn't know. So it's that's how I'm playing it.
That's the best way to. That's good marriage advice. That's the best way to do it.
Right? It's oh, I have to go. It's a restaurant conference. It's done by Cisco, and my rep he had got me some tickets, and so we got to go look at some new devices that chop meat and prep some vegetables. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm hoping to live stream. I've heard that there's bad what's called like internet, so I'm thinking about taking a Starlink Mini and just like me and Seb will like connect it to the ceiling or something or to a window where we could stream live from our table, and I think that that's gonna be awesome, man. I honestly think it's gonna be lit. So I'm excited. For those of you that are on the fence about going, go. Like just hey, I'm going. It's like if I'm going and we can get more dudes that are on the fence to go, I think it's going to make this event just bigger. Our Discord is going to grow. Our thing is going to be more rich. It's going to be just more potent. And I'm going to be able to meet just people that I maybe follow, or you know what I mean? Like people that I've never even had like a talk with, just to be able to meet them and see just, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm getting hyped just kind of like thinking about it, you know?
It's awesome. It's awesome that we have that. And it's like, I really gotta, I gotta go. I gotta get there. I'm not committing to it, but I gotta really look into it. Because it sounds corny, but it's like, it's the most fun part of the hobby is like meeting people that kind of like the same stuff as you and like talk to them about it. Like, that's why we're doing this. It's like all the people on Instagram that you chat with and DM with and have never met in person, like meet a few in person. It's awesome. So I think it's so cool.
I want to see Seb, man. It's worth the price of admission to see Seb, Alan, Bill. Also Scott, man. Shout out to Scott. So yeah, man, I'm super excited. Man, and then of course, before we get into the final thing that we're gonna talk about, we got to go back and do our disclaimer, right? We have to make sure the folks know we buy goats and we take care of our families. That's our motto. Like, we do our thing so we could do our thing. And again, we don't want y'all to listen to our talk and go out and buy like Dino cards and like whatever we say, take it with a grain of salt. We're not experts. We're idiots. We're clumsy. We like to press buy it now. We're not into
not
the
pumping anything either. We are not pumping. Champ has never sold anything. You know, that is not.
Yeah,
we just want to talk about stuff that we like.
And I'm from the owl school of I'll pump something up and then buy it. Like so, you know what I mean? I'll be the one buying it. So just wanted to get that out the way. And speaking of the GOAT, our second disclaimer, read Al's disclaimers. We're not any type of what's called like financial advice. Whatever you hear on this podcast, it is a complete and utter lie. It's not, you know, we're idiots. So don't do what we do. And I've just said that, like, we hope that you learn from us and our journey. And because we're gonna learn from you guys. I mean, I've learned everything from y'all. So that's how we do it. So just wanted to get that out the way, right? And so the last thing we wanted to talk about, because it feeds into this episode and what we're going for, right? A card recently sold. It was I don't know prices. You know, Champ isn't focused on prices or pop reports. It was a Upper Deck CR7 Gold, and that set, you're the one that put me onto it before I even knew what it was. And that set, I think, is incredible. Those sets, sorry, it's actually like a multiple amount of sets, right?
Yep.
And this card sold, and I know it probably shocked a lot of people that maybe aren't in tune with this set and how it's collected. And again, this goes to how important this hobby is, that there's folks that are die-hard Man U fans. Like, Manchester United has crazy, hardcore, die-hard fans. And it's got to be appreciated. And to see that card, on top of it being CR7, Cristiano, I refuse to call him. You know, to me, there's only one Ronaldo.
Ronaldo is R9 on this show.
Yeah. So CR7, he hit it out the park. Whoever got that card, congratulations, man. You got something nice. And I think that whole set, if that card, I mean, that's just a sample. I think there won't be many of those coming up for auction, man. Those things are kept. People are holding on to those. So that was a beautiful thing to like see.
And that's rookie material, I think we would say ish.
Yeah, right,
it's not a rookie, but it's like kind of like a second year, and it's out of the jersey number. It's out of 7, which is just like so cool. Yeah. I heard the Soccer Cards United guys. I don't know if you listen to them, but they were talking about like, if that was like the true rookie out of 7, like what would that do? Like that would absolutely, it went over 40K.
Yeah.
So like people like, they have always liked those base cards, those base Ronaldos, because he's in the Manchester United kit. Yeah. They're popular, then like the numbered ones, I mean, that is an absolutely sick card,
man. It went through the roof. I didn't bid on it. I'm just watching it. It surprised the hell out of me, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. And now I'm not, though. So when it happened, I was surprised. Then I went into this rabbit hole of researching more about the set, and I think it had so many factors. 1, CR7, 2, Man U dudes that are hardcore. I mean, these are the dudes that, I mean, folks got to understand, there's people right now that have never posted online, that have never scanned any of their items, and they don't know what PSA means.
Right.
So can you imagine how many hardcore dudes is just stacking up great stuff in their PCs? And I think obviously whoever got this one, they knew what they were going after. Like, but it just like goes to show that it just takes a group of people going after one item, and it'll go through the roof. And I think that item went through the roof, man. It was a beautiful thing to like see, man. Beautiful thing.
What's your take on Upper Deck? Because I would say it's, definitely more of an American brand. And I don't know that it has a soccer lineage like a Topps or a Panini. It clearly doesn't. However, they had like the 94 World Cup set. They did that Juve team set that Zidane has a card in like the late 90s. They did some MLS stuff. So they're not like completely foreign to soccer, but like what's your Upper Deck take?
All right. And this is a great point. For me, the first soccer card I ever bought was an Upper Deck.
Same.
So, here back in the day, I wasn't getting access to stickers at our stores. Was all baseball, football, basketball, comics. Soccer wasn't, I don't remember seeing it on the shelves until it was a 93 set that came from what's called like Upper Deck.
Yeah.
So for me being a gringo, right, that was my first, what's the word, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the first time I saw soccer. So
me too.
For me, I love Upper Deck. Like, you know what I mean? And obviously the, Jordans and baseball, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. But, it's that set is incredible. I'm telling you, it's a set that I think now, as eyes now are on it and people are really going to learn about it, there's a lot of folks that are slowly starting to like get in. Man, Upper Deck's got to be like, I got to tip my hat. They have, for me, the first was called like Pive Auto Pack Pulled On Card was Upper Deck.
Yeah.
So that alone to me, that was in 99. So that alone to me is big, right? Like, so I give it props, man. I'm glad that it's like it did that, because it's just gonna go as time goes on and people start to, like fill out things. There's some key cards with Upper Deck. So
there are. And for our international friends that might not know, is like, because like I think you and me collected like baseball and basketball and stuff. Yeah. And it was like when Upper Deck came on the scene, it was like the first like high quality, like glossy, like we were collecting like paper cardboard crap, like from Topps and Donruss and Clear. And it was like Upper Deck was like this like sea change in collecting. And then to see the World Cup set, like, a year or two later, like I have so much nostalgia for Upper Deck, and then I have so much nostalgia for Manchester United. But before we like completely give it like all its shine, I do think it's got some negatives to it. This Manchester United, the 4-year run. Yeah. I'm going to say a few things that I think are a little bit unique, maybe in like a bad way. It's just a team set. It's not a full league license, which is a little bit unique. It's, it's kind of chaos. Like all 4 years have variations, subsets. Each player has a couple of different versions. Then they got like the parallels are out of control. There's out of 999, out of 325. The golds are out of black, red. So like it's definitely like a lot to take in. And I think it's kind of all over the place, and it's hard to kind of like wrap your head around. But once you're talking about playing years, you're talking about playing year autos, patches, parallels
of a great team that had a run.
Goal, Giggs, Solskjaer, Van Nistelrooy. I mean, Keane, like
match worn jerseys, like everything. Nah, man. Now, as far as the 90s go, I thought like everything, junk wax era, Upper Deck printed, I'm thinking ridiculous amounts. But I think that set, it's in that little phase where they kind of stopped the, what's called like printing presses a little bit before it ramps up again. So but you're right. I think as time goes on though, it's not gonna feel like a lot of subsets and stuff, because now you see what we're seeing now, where they'll have like 30 colors of a certain card.
Yeah.
Out of like 500, out of 250, out of 200 out of 199 out of 50 out of 30. Like, and that set, I think, is what makes it like now it's gonna be lit, because I think as it fills out, those are not gonna be seen, man. I
No.
just think that those are not just gonna be on auctions every week. I think those are gonna be put away, man. Like it's so beautiful set, beautiful team. Like I said, just to be able to know that there's a reason why they got their own set. Like they were dominating like nonstop that whole era, right? And like you said, so many players. It's almost like they were like Real now with just a team full of, well, obviously they played way better than Real Madrid's playing right now. No offense to any Real Madrid.
It was like an all-star team. I mean, it
Yeah,
seriously was like, if you
English,
like the midfield, did we say Beckham? I don't think we said
Beck,
Beckham. I mean, it was like
James,
Beckham,
right?
Scholes, Keane, Giggs. I mean, that's just
For Alex
absurd.
Ferguson, man.
Right. And it's almost like it was almost like an ultra modern set, but in 2001 to 2005. I mean,
Yeah,
again, it was just team focused, but it was like parallels, inserts,
man.
variations, like upper deck, like they threw like all their innovation on this one soccer property that they had
Yes,
was their biggest
man.
soccer property. And I just think it's such a unique set. Those 4 years are so unique.
No, and I'm curious to know about sealed boxes. I'm gonna have to reach out to like a couple of my dudes like overseas, and Matt, man, I want an unsealed box of that, like of one of those years just to have on, because I think that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a dope set. Sorry, with all the years. And the champ is now in those waters. So I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Because the champ always gets there late, but when he gets there, it's like the tidal wave comes in, right? Everything goes up, right? So I'm now on it. I wasn't on it before until a certain card, which we'll talk about later.
We
Um,
will.
and now I'm researching checklists, researching parallels, looking up the designs. I mean, we saw some beautiful designs embossed. Like, I mean, it's really is a beautiful set. So
And know what's funny about it? It's like everybody knew the base CR7s. I felt like they would always appear in sort of like the
oh, they're so
CR7
popular.
catalog. But
Yeah,
it's like I honestly didn't know about the parallels, the autos. Like he's got like a patch auto, like I mean crazy low numbered from like 2003, which is just a wild card.
yeah.
So I don't know. It's just like I've been following the set probably for a year. There's plenty of people that have been tracking it way longer than me and know a lot more about it. But like I was telling you before we started recording, I still see stuff that I've never seen before from
Yeah,
that set.
yeah,
Like
no,
stuff will
that's
pop up and I'll just be like, what the hell is that insert, numbered to 18 or whatever.
yeah. And nah, you're right, man. And that's great for us to like be able to put some light on it. And for folks that know about the set, man, I'm dying. I'm hungry for information.
Yes.
Write me DMs, write in the comments, like, subscribe, and all that type of stuff, right? I want to know more about this set. So I'm because that's it, like there isn't a lot of about it on the what's called like Discord, and that's where I get all of my like main core stuff.
Yeah.
So for any of you dudes across the pond, man, yo, DM me, man. I'm dead serious. I love information. I even love talks, man. Like if y'all could send me audios, we could have like a little like audio back and forth, because I want to know more about the set. I want to know how it's viewed, I guess, over there, right? Like here, we're seeing that we're just now getting to it as far as like me and you. There's got to be dudes here that have been on it, I'm sure. But I really want to know from like the source. Like I want a dude that lives right next to the stadium, that met, you know what I'm saying, like Sir Alex when he was a young kid. Like tell me about the set. So I'm dying for information. And
My at least I know like I get the sense that British collectors really admire the set
yeah,
and have really embraced the set. And I know some like awesome collectors, we're going to talk about a few later, that even though maybe the Upper Deck brand wasn't like their bread and butter, I think like the set and the focus on Man U in that era has really attracted them to it. So I do think it's like it's growing its collector base.
yeah, big time. No, I mean, hey, it physically has grown its collector base. With the glistening ham is now on the trail, man. You know what I mean? So we wanted to do that little set spotlight, and then wanted to talk about another set that it honestly, it's kind of like the Spanish version of that set in a weird way, right?
Kind of
Because it
is.
also had patch autos, it had patches, it had, man, I mean, it has like different types of versions of it,
Inserts.
photography, design, and that is this set. This right here, man. This is the whole
Legendary.
set. This set, I've stated it's my favorite set, I think, man. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's because of it has so many players that I love in that set, and those patches, those like Dino patches that I have, that you have, right? We've seen that Chavi patch auto. There's a Dino patch auto. I've only seen a picture of it, and it has like this gloss to it, like a certain type of foil to it that's incredible. And on this past auction, again, we said we weren't going to talk about auction prices, right? But this previous auction had one that I had never seen. I had only heard about it.
Is that the foil one?
That Dino foil. It was a PSA 7. Honestly, I didn't even bid on it, which is a weird thing, right? I'm just not into the auctions as much as I was.
Yeah.
But to see that number it did, to know that those are that rare, that I had never seen it. I mean, that alone should tell you I've been in this for 4 years. I know that's not a lot, but I had never seen it before. So the fact that that went for that number, I hope is going to bring more out, because I'm definitely looking to add those to my collection. And I'm curious to know if they have like those of every player, or it's only certain stars or whatnot. Because this set to me, man, I mean, seriously, man, it's dope, man. Like
It's beautiful.
the card design, it has what's called like portraits. It has everything that we love as a set. Like, it has stuff that's hard to find, beautiful cards, beautiful photos, foils, patch autos, patches, game worn. Like, it's dope shit, man. And so I love this set. I love your sets. You done messed up, man, because you done like got me now. I'm telling you, I was watching Top Boy. I'm watching Snatch all week. I'm watching Overlap freaking with fucking subtitles because I barely understand it. Like the first 2 days, it was like a foreign language hearing, like, you know what I'm saying, like Steven Gerrard talk and Beckham
You
and
need subtitles.
I was watching this stuff, like having to put pause, like, what's the hell's this? Like, but that's the beauty of it, right? That it got me into this world of Man U, and that's the point of this, is that we're addicted to this. Like, this just gave me more rabbit holes to go down under, right? Like, there's players that I literally have nothing of, that now I'm like writing down what now my eyes are on now. You know what I mean? Like, now I'm scanning like eBay. I had to delete a lot of my eBay because it was just going crazy all day, like getting all of these like messages. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna really kind of like clank her down and really focus. So yeah, man, I love sets. I love getting like the whole albums. I like to
Yeah,
look.
that's sweet. I didn't know you had that. That's awesome.
And I have, I think, album wise of cards, I think I have maybe 4 or 5 that I really love. And then sticker wise, I probably have like 10 or 12, man. Like, that
Wow.
I like to flip through them. I'm not like the dude that dips them in water and does all those chemical solutions and extracts and stuff like that. I literally have them around my coffee table. If friends are gonna come over, I'll pop out 2, throw them on the coffee table. And I think it's just a cool item to have. I mean, yeah, the cards aren't graded. They're not imperfect. You know what I mean? Is a dude probably sold it in Spain that needed money to get his son out of jail or something, and I could come in and get the whole set and just be
Yeah, you can flip through it, and like, I
beautiful.
don't know. We all love looking at our cards, and what's better
Yeah,
than the full set of like your favorite set? The other thing I
love
was thinking
it.
about is like both of these sets are sort of like modern to ultra modern sets, but in the pre-modern era.
Yes,
They're almost like kind of like the
tail
first.
end, right? Yes.
Yeah, and it's like there's something cool about like the initial experimentation into like I don't really collect modern that much, and I
Yeah.
don't really care that much about autos or, new parallels or anything like that. But there's something about those initial sets where they started to try it, like the 98, 99 Merlin, with the rubies and stuff like that. But like the set that Megafichas,
Yes.
and then like Upper Deck, it's like that. It's almost like you can feel the era turning where it's going into like a new direction where they've got all these different things. And like in pre-modern, you still see stuff you've never seen before. That foil card, like two guys on Instagram flagged it for me proactively, and they're like, "Have you ever seen this one?" And I'm like, "No." Been doing pre-modern for 5 years. I've never seen that one, and I'm a Ronaldinho collector, and it's awesome.
Nah, man, we're still learning, man. I'm telling you,
We
there's
are.
so much stuff that we're right now that there's dudes probably laughing at us like these two Americans don't know jack about any of this stuff, but we will. And once I get in them waters, man, like I said, the prices go up because champ just buy it now, buy it now, buy it now. Man, now we're finally here at the point of the reason why we call this the ginger shot. Um, this is a player that, man, I feel weird because I had him on like a list, and it was a player that once I started to watch videos on, and you don't hear about him as much as other players in that era, but when you hear other players talk about players from that era, his name is always one of the. I'm talking about legends, Thierry Henry, Zizou, like these dudes will mention even Xavi, right? He is that guy. And to go down this rabbit hole about him, his personal story, his family story, all the trophies this man won, the great teams he was a part of. He wasn't just the part of these teams. I felt like he was the brain on the field for a lot of these teams. He started up front, and as years went on, they kind of moved him in the middle. Then he went, a little more back mid. And it's crazy because I was looking at his goals, and I'm like, this dude, he wasn't playing like a back mid. This dude had a knack. I don't even know what to call it, like in the proper terms, but like he could hit a ball from distance, like Steph Curry, like a John Stockton three. In fact, that's probably like a player that I was kind of trying to see, who would I say he reminds me of? And I think Stockton, just hard nosed, played rough, tough defense, was always on you, was not afraid to throw an elbow. He wasn't afraid to do a hard tackle. And his swag, it was a quiet swag. He wasn't, what's the word, like braggadocious. And this man was, by all accounts, a hard worker. His teammates loved him. I can only imagine his coaches loved him. And that player, after this buildup, the champ is even working up a sweat, is AKA, we're gonna call him his name is the Ginger Ninja, right? But Paul Scholes, AKA Scholesy. Wow, this guy is out of this world, and I'm excited because I'm telling you, it felt good to go down this rabbit hole on multiple accounts, right? Like researching about his cards, and you have amazing Skulls collection. And you actually like kind of like taught me about a card that I actually won. It was my first card of his that I had won, that I didn't kind of know what I was going after at that moment, but I knew I wanted something of his.
Yeah.
And as time went on, like we both now see like, yo, that was like that card I think fell low. I'm surprised it went at the price it did. I don't remember the price, but I think it went pretty low, right? And
It
for
did.
it being from that set and such a key player from those teams. Man, I love, like I said, his whole flow of he stayed with the same team. He retired, he comes back, and then they win like the league. I think he retired for I want to say a year or two, right? And then I think like some players in like the midfield got hurt. And
I
he
think it was
came
like a pretty much a 20-year run with
right
Me and
and
You, which is
killing it.
that's
Like they were
absurd.
at the top almost that whole era. I
Yeah.
think he won, I don't even know the amounts, but it was like 10, 11 leagues. He won Champions League. I know there was one final that like he didn't like playing. I guess he had gotten like so many cards or whatever. Um, but a player that is loved in England. I mean, I'm sure that dude could walk into a pub and he ain't paying for his beer. He ain't paying for his pretzels and his beans and stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
he is loved by that fan base, by England as a whole. They respect his hard work. And like I said, he's not that flashy in your face kind of guy with the chains. He looks like the normal dude that you see shopping at Costco on like a Saturday, right? Like, and I think that's what makes him special, that he's not the tallest. He doesn't have the crazy length. His technique, the way he hits some of them balls, the strength that he packed was ridiculous, man. And it's been so fun for me. Like I told you, this whole week, the last 2 weeks, I've been watching overlap. I've been watching highlights. And man, there's like I'm trying to stay away from these rabbit holes. And thank you, Matt. You
And
now got
we're adding some
in now because of you deciding on this player. But this player is dope, man. What can you tell me? Because like I told you, I didn't know him
Yeah.
until right now. So
Well, I
I'm
think,
just
like,
now getting in those waters.
yeah, I mean, I think there probably are a few folks watching this that are surprised that we went Scholes episode 2. And I'll raise my hand on that one. You know, he's one of my favorite players of all time. I also think it's nice to go from Dino to like a Premier League UK based. It allows us to talk about different players, different cards, a slightly different era. So the only soccer I had access to was like the early stages of the Premier League growing up in New England. And it was really like, at that time, it was like the Cantona show. It was like every week it was like, what is Cantona doing? So I got sucked into Manchester United just based on the force of Cantona's personality, like literally. And they were really good. But so then I kind of got sucked in, and then I stuck with them. And obviously, like, Beckham blew up, right, as like a global celebrity. And I think especially in the States, it was almost like you kind of just knew Beckham and you knew a little bit about Manchester United.
Like soccer was Beckham.
It was like soccer was Beckham. So I guess like I think like in my like teenage like hipster take, I was like, I'm a Scholes guy, you know, like, because to your point, like, he's running the show, he's manning the attack, he's got the vision, he's the brainstem. His passing was preposterous, like he really was, and he had such great complementary players around him. Like we were talking before this, like he had Keane to do the dirty work. He had Giggs to make runs, you know, up the left side.
Criminally overrated. I mean, underrated. Sorry,
I completely agree. But Scholes was always, he was the distributor. He felt like he was truly the point guard of the attack. And I've always just liked attacking midfielders. Like I think they're the most creative. They're the most interesting players to me. And Scholes is just such a great example of that, you know, in one of the like the most nostalgic eras of soccer for me growing up.
Yeah. Nah, man, he's lit. He's lit. I mean, just seeing his highlights, and then just like something that I thought kind of made his whole. I don't even know how to explain it, but you know, he has a son that has special needs, right? And that touched me. Like when I, you know, as someone that has kids, like I have trouble with my kids. Like you saw them earlier. They were sitting here talking to me before and you see how I talk to them and how intense they are. They didn't want to go to bed, like, and so, you know, all jokes aside, like that's a difficult challenge. It's something that, you know, every day is like a whole nother book, and for him to be playing, you know, and dealing with that at home, and his teammates didn't know about it, his coaches, his trainers, he said that he kept it quiet. It wasn't like that, you know, like he would come to work with scratches, and people thinking he's fighting his wife at home, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he was dealing with such a serious situation, And that, I felt that, man. And honestly, that made him, like, as I'm here, like, this dude is incredible. And then I get into that phase of it, and then I'm like, holy shit. Like, I felt that and it made him even better, if that makes any sense. Like, soccer was his escape.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way, escaping his kid, but what I'm saying is, when he would get to work, for him to be able to have that focus and man that team and run that team, and having to deal with such a strenuous thing at home, like, I give him so much respect, man, as a man. Like I said, you saw it. It's like a circus over here at Champ's house. And to see him be able to do what he did and to keep it quiet all those years. Now he's public about it. He speaks about it. And it's beautiful to see, man. Like, I've been following him. Shout out to his daughter. She's incredibly beautiful, by the way. She's one of my new follows too on Instagram.
He seems like a great dude, and he's got
Great dude,
like
man.
he does media,
Gentleman.
super sharp analyst. I think he's got a podcast with Nikki Butt. I don't know if it's a podcast or they do some sort of thing
Yeah.
on, but like, it's like really, really sharp. Like, he just seems like an awesome guy, ferocious competitor back in the
That's
day.
the word, man. Competitor, man.
But like, you talked about like the respect he got from like the other legends of the time, like, and again, sometimes there's a little bit of an exaggeration with some of this, but like Zidane said he was like, his like toughest opponent.
Yeah.
Henri said he was like, I think he was like the best player in the Premier League, or one of the best, players in the Premier League. Xavi considered him an idol and sort of like a mentor and someone to like model his game. I mean, that is high praise.
I love it when those greats talk about other greats, because
Me too.
who they respected. And I think, what was it, Beckham? There was this bit that I loved. So when he goes to Spain, he said that all those players were asking him about Scholesy. They were like,
I
"How is
know
he?
that.
He's so quiet. He plays so hard. Like, how is he as a person?" Like, in that alone, man. When greats give you respect, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. You want to compete. You want to be the best. And when you go up against the best and they give you that respect, it's almost a fear, like, this dude's good. I can't mess around. Like, I got to be on my game tomorrow. Like,
Yep.
we're going up against Scholesy, and seeing kind of like where you're talking about his passes. Man, I've never done any of, like, I sat there and I was like, even when I was a kid just playing in the park, some of his passes are ridiculous. The way he was dropping balls in, like,
Dude, it
diagonal
was like a quarterback.
ball, like,
It was like a
almost,
quarterback throwing a football. Like, he was hitting like he hit guys on long balls in stride from like 40 yards. They called him I think his teammates called him Sat Nav, because his
right?
passes were just
Where
like
everybody
dialed in.
was at. Nah, man, he really is out of this world. I'm glad that, like I said, that you, like, opened this door of Scholesy for me, because
Yeah.
he's, and I mean, I shouldn't say this because I'm sure there's dudes chomping at the bits, like, let's get Champ's money now, right? I'm looking for Scholes. I am everything he stands for. I'm with. Like, if I was to be a soccer player, um, at nighttime, I would want to be a healthy R9, right? But during the day, Monday through Friday, I'm Scholesy. Like, I want to come to work, do my job, head down, lead by example, and then go home and rock it at home as well, right? Like that to me was just, like I said, I feel him. Like, if I
Yeah.
see dude, it's not no fan stuff. It's just, as a man, yo, dude, like, incredible player. And like what you said, he was quiet for many years where people really didn't hear him.
Yeah.
And the last few years that he's kind of like opened up, and he's been talking, and he's got this sense of humor that I freaking
He's
love.
funny.
Right? Like, I don't know if that's British humor or like the Office type of humor, but these dudes have this type of humor that I am enamored with. I love it. Like, I'm there watching these interviews, laughing when they start cracking jokes on Gary, and they start talking about certain things that happen.
Gary is hilarious. I
Yeah.
love I love Gary Neville.
I'm shout out to Gary for doing all of this content because it was able to teach me a lot about these players, man. Because honestly, man, I told you, I've been ever since I came in, I was like hyper focused on my things, and England wasn't in that list. Like
Right,
any
right.
players from England, it wasn't. You know, yeah, I dabbled in some pre-war, and I have a couple of things, but it wasn't something that I was into, and not in a bad way. I guess I never got around to it, right?
Yeah. You had
And
other priorities. Yeah.
yeah, and now, dude, I'm like I don't want to say this, but now I'm hyper focused on England. Like I'm going
Yeah.
after English stuff now, man. And
Well, it's funny because like there was definitely a time, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, where I kind of felt like, and this wasn't true, but it kind of felt like I was like one of the only guys collecting skulls. Like
yeah,
his stuff was like super cheap. And I don't feel like that anymore. And I don't know if it's like more UK guys getting into the hobby, or maybe I'm just like finding and connecting with guys who have collected them longer. But I do feel like his collector base is growing, and he's got cool cards. Like I love
yeah.
the era of cards that he's in. I mean, he played for 20 years, so it crosses a bunch of
And
different
one
sets and a bunch of
rookie,
different. One rookie though,
one
that's right.
rookie. I'm well for now, right? Because as we know, there's going to be something that comes up in the next couple years that
So that's the
oh
one
my God,
rookie.
that's
Trying to
302,
get
right? I want to
that
say it's
is
302.
that's 302, and this is a 4, which is
But that's a beautiful four because those are usually off centered really bad, right? Or not bad, but they're kind of hard
no,
to
they
get.
really are. The centering is horrific. Leo hooked me up with that one. It's got like a little notch on the surface. Yeah,
Yeah.
Leo, thank you.
Shout out to
Um,
Leo.
it's got like a notch on the surface, but I actually kind of like that because everything else looks awesome. It's got great centering.
Like,
But like
that's a beautiful one, man. That's
I
got
got
great eye
some of
appeal.
our UK friends need to tell me like why the hell is this thing so hard to track down? It's a Merlin sticker from
Which
the
was
mid
king
90s.
in England. Merlin was king in England from everything I've read. Merlin was like Coke.
And
Well,
it's
not
like
Colombian Coke, but like
and
Coca-Cola.
I know like, the British guys aren't grading everything, but like the PSA pop is like 20 or something. And again, we're not going to go into like pops and values and all that stuff, but it's just like if a raw one pops up on eBay, like it gets like 50 watchers. Like, why is this rare? It's confusing to me.
Yeah, no, it could be. I mean, I don't know. That's a because like we said, Merlin was big dog, and
Yeah.
so for that to happen, there has to be a reason. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and champs at the bottom of it. I'm gonna figure it out because yo Leo, if you're watching this, Leo,
Tell
add
us.
Scholesy to my list, please. Add Scholesy to my list. Move him to the top. Move him to the top. Um, Nah, man, but yours is a great copy, brother. Like that's a beautiful one. Like I love that one right there. I love that one right there.
Do you know what's funny? It's like all my skulls stuff, like it's worth more to me than it is to the market. So like it makes no sense to sell. Like that's probably like a $60 card,
Right?
But it's like to get that from me without an upgrade, like I'm gonna need a lot more than that.
You're gonna need to fight. You're gonna need to fight you. Nah, and here, man. So show that again, man. That 302 is big to me, man.
This is
That
the
is
only Skulls rookie right
beautiful,
there.
man. And look at his face, man.
He's got some funky rookie material. Like this is this is a non-license. This is the LCD
See that one?
publishing. And it's like I think they only did 2 sets completely unlicensed. They only did like midfielders and strikers, so it was like a set of like 100. But it's
Huh.
like you don't see a ton of them, and it's like
Yeah,
95. It's kind of like rookie material second year.
but
So I like that one. And then this is a super cheap one, but also like a weird one. This is the Panini Super Player
man,
from
I love
1996.
that one, man. Oh my god.
And again, not licensed, not expensive. But
But that one
look
is
at how young he
beautiful,
looks. Like that's the true Ginger Prince right there.
dude. The ginger shot. I'm telling you, man. That I love that one right there. That's one that's on my list early on when I kind of went through it. That one right there is crazy that I didn't even know that you had like that one. That one is nice to me, man.
Yeah.
So the champ doesn't have a lot of Scholesy. Um, what I do have, I will say, like we kind of spoke in the like first episode. I'm a sucker for second year stuff.
Me
And
too.
when this one came up, I remember I'm like, especially in like a PSA 9, right? Like, and this one came up and I knew it wasn't the rookie. I remember I wrote Seb and Nils like, I got to go after this. And it was like, I let them know because I wanted it so bad. And so I was able to pull this one out. This one to me, I love, man. It's kind
Beautiful.
of like you said, his image, his he's got the swag, man. Like he just gets on the pitch and messes things up. He runs it. And this one to me, I love it. It's centered beautifully. It's a crisp copy. Whoever graded this, I don't know, but thank you, because I love it, man. I
I
love
mean,
it.
it's
I love
perfect. And honestly, it looks like a 10. Like, I mean, it's beautiful. And I don't know that I ever told you. I did bid on that one. I might have been the
yeah.
underbidder on that one. Yeah.
So it was you that made because I remember in the Discord they're like, oh my god,
Someone
someone
doesn't know it's a
thinks,
rookie.
thinks that it's a and I'm there like, nah, dude, I know what that is. That's a crib sec. Like I have man, second year, I don't know, man. Me and you said it, even like back in like the day, that was my thing. You're right. Like rookie card, obviously, but then the second year, you're going crazy opening packs trying to get that card of that player. So for me to get this, and I knew when I saw it, I was like, I've never seen that come up like on that level, that high of a grade, because that's those early sets, I guess, weren't. I don't know, they weren't as popping in the amounts of crisp copies, right? So I knew I
Yeah.
wanted, like, man, I'm a sucker for it, and I love it. I love it. I
It's
love it.
beautiful. It's
Then
beautiful.
I'm gonna go to this one, and then you could go to yours, right? This one, man.
I
This
love
one is
that
cool to
one.
me, man. Hasbro, shout out to like Transformers toys. I'm not sure if it was Hasbro that did the Transformers toys or Mattel. I don't even know, but this one is beautiful, man. It's got a dope image. He's kicking the ball upward like he's about to do a bicycle kick or about to do some Dino action. Um, and the Manu kits of that era, man.
The
Oh
sharp.
my god.
The sharp kills
There's
me.
some of the cleanest kits, like, oh man, dude, I want to make a wall. I was telling my like sons, like, I want to get a wall of just kits now, like the dopest players from certain years, like try to like hunt them down because I want to get like real like not game worn jerseys. I ain't got like that type of bank. I'd have to sell a lot of Colombian food, but I want to get where it is like the same, like the right like name plates and the fonts and have a
Yeah.
wall of just the classic players, and he's got to be on that wall. Those kits are out of this world, man. Out
It's
of this.
beautiful. And it's another example of like a trading card game. It's almost like TCG meets soccer. Like it's like I love that. I love that. And like just like the what's the
Beautiful,
Dino
man.
card. Yeah, like it's so
Oh,
cool.
back is beautiful, man. I
It's
didn't show this
beautiful.
back too.
Oh my
That back right
god.
there.
That's lovely.
Got me reading about all these like English players. I don't know who the hell they are, man. It's beautiful,
That's
man.
that's so funny because we grew up in the same era. We were talking before, and like you were totally focused outside of England, and I was almost solely like in my like
That's that
growing up
East
in teen
Coast.
years. Like it was
That's that
just
East Coast. That's that East Coast. Because down
it
south,
is.
man, we like I'm telling you that whole East Coast had hockey and soccer from over there. Down
Yeah.
here, man, these damn Texans weren't trying to see no Brits play, man. These dudes wasn't trying to show the champ nothing on Sunday mornings, man.
Oh my god. And then all right, so this is the upper deck conversation and the skulls conversation colliding. So this is a 2002. This is a black
Oh
out
man.
of 100. It was one of the sets. It was scoring
Man,
threats.
hold up, man. I never saw that one, man. What you
Yeah.
hiding over there?
So that's a 2002 and that's the black
That
out of
is nice,
100.
man.
He's got the nice kit. I know it's a little bit blurry
Man,
there. And
it's a
then
nice
this
one.
is the 2003. This is the match worn shirt gold
Oh,
out of 99.
just that balance, that what's called like contrast.
Yeah,
Just I
like the
love it.
red popping against the gold and then him coming through that little like hexagon thing. I love the design of
Man.
this. And I don't know, I'm just a sucker for all of the numbered ones. And then, so what we didn't talk about is, so the first 3 years of Upper Deck were Upper Deck releases, and then they moved to SP Authentic for the 2005. So this is the SP Authentic Scholes Gold. This is an incredible image, I feel like, kind of doing like his hardcore celebration. This is a PSA 9. This is out of 99. So
what the hell, Matt? What the hell are you over there just stacking up on, man? That's a hey, can I see like the back of that one? That is a beautiful one, man.
yeah, the SP Authentic ones, they were nice.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
That is dopeness, man. Oh my God. That's beautiful, man.
Love that one.
Beautiful.
But I don't have the best Upper Deck card on this podcast. You have the best Upper Deck card on this podcast.
All right. First, I'm gonna show this one, right? This was one of my new what's called like pickups, which we'll get to at the end of the show. We kind of skipped over that, right?
Yes.
I love this one, man. It says
So
match
sweet.
shirt. The image design, oh man, it's so beautiful, man. Like, and you could even
That's
see
the other thing. Like, we got to give Upper Deck some credit for the design. Like, they had hot designs.
And so here it goes, man. So I'm gonna tell the story about this one, right? Because it's a funny story. It's such a champ story. This one came up for auction. This was the first Scholesy I got. This was one that I honestly, man, I told you honestly, I was like, when I got it and I went after it, I didn't know how important it was or how rare it was. I just saw Upper Deck Paul Scholes gold. And so I have this list of players that I don't have anything of. And I'm always kind of like I'll if there's something that looks rare and it's beautiful, it looks nice, like the champ goes after it. So I have a lot of players that I only have one or two items of that I don't know much about. And when I got this was a prime example of champ being champ. Like, I knew I wanted a Scholes card before I kind of like knew about him. And like I said, when this one came up, I just thought it was beautiful. His kit, he's wearing a white kit. The gold, it fades down. The top part is black with the gold logo. I mean, it's a beautiful card. And it's crazy. I would say that this is the card that in a weird way linked us, because right after, look at that, it's shut off. That's crazy. Right after it came out, I remember you wrote me immediately and you were like, yo, man, if you ever sell this, like I'm down to buy it and I'm down to overpay. And I'm there like, dude, I don't sell cards, but hey, if I sell it, I got you. Like, but it's the card that kind of like linked us.
It did. It started our conversation in a deeper way.
My like thing on it, like I was like, hold up, man, did I get lucky like by getting this item? Because like I said, I got it solely on like eye appeal. It looks retro, the like design, just everything about it in gold. I saw gold. I immediately knew that it was something special, right?
And that one's numbered out of his jersey number. That's out of 18.
Yeah, so and that's clean because I think that's how those were, right?
Yes.
They're kind of based out of there, so that's clean. It's a PSA 8. It has like, since it has a black corner, it has a little, like, I don't know if it's just dingy, but that's where I think it drops to an 8 because everything else is sharp except that one corner that's the black corner, right?
You know what? That wouldn't even bother me. It's
Yeah,
one of
no, I went after it, and I'm pretty sure it was me and you. Maybe it was one of those auctions that it got flashed late and people didn't know about it, or people just weren't at that time. Because I got this a while ago, right? I want to say more than 6
months. I think it was like 2 years ago, and it was before I knew anything about the set. So like I had the same reaction. Like I saw it pop up in the auction, and I was going after a bunch of Scholes stuff, and I was just like, I don't know what that is. I was focused on other items. And then when I saw you snag it, and then I started to learn more about the set, I was like, that's the most ridiculous thing. I need that. And I started bothering you like once a month. And you're like, dude, please chill. I'm not selling it. But that's how we started chatting.
But hey, it linked us. It linked us, brother. Because you by like you kind of like asking me about it, it made me think like, yo, man, this is, I said like Champ got lucky, Champ found gold, like, but I love it. And it's crazy. It's like I have it, and then now that I've done all this rabbit holing and searching about him and reading about him, brother, I feel blessed to have this card. Like I feel blessed. I told myself, and this is funny. I told myself, if one comes up, first, and if you don't, which I know you will sell the barn for. But I told myself, like, the next one that comes up after the one you get, I'm going after it too. Like I told myself, like, Matt's gonna get his fill. You have to. And then Champ's gonna double dip, triple dip, like for real, because I can't get enough of it. I want to get other players from that set now. Like I'm telling you, bro, I feel like I'm gonna watch Snatch tonight or Top Boy. Like I'm like immersed in this culture now. Like I can't wait to go to England, man. Like shout out to my boy Luke, man. He's me and him been talking about having a beer out there. But yo, when the Champ lands in England, man, I'm trying to go to a Man U game. I might rock that on a chain on the freaking Champ chain and probably get robbed in some hood out there in England in Hackney. But man, I love it. I love the fact that I went after it for like all the wrong, well, I don't say wrong reasons. As a collector, all the right reasons. But then to find out that it's such an important card of his, made it amazing. Now, like the last 2 weeks, I've just been like this card probably went from a top 100 card to like a top 20 card for me right now, top 25. And I'm in love with it, man. I'm in love with it. I cannot get enough of it, and I want to see more of it. And earlier you actually talked about a couple of dudes that do go after Scholesy, and yo, these dudes are hardcore, man. Like we'll like say their names, but these dudes, when I went down through their list, like, and that's something else I want to talk about, man. I hate my Instagram algorithm because I'm following so many people. Man, there's people that have followed me, and I'll click and like I'll see all these amazing cards that aren't coming up on my feed, and that's making me mad. Like should I just like delete everybody on my Instagram and just start to add
It is
people?
weird. Like you'll stumble upon someone who's like got this sick collection and is in the same area as us, and like for some reason, like the page never popped up. It's like, what?
Yeah,
no, I completely agree with you.
There's dudes right now that are collecting on a whole nother level than when I started out, and dudes that have been in it for years that have amazing things, man. And you kind of had told me about one of them. I looked through and I'm like, jaw drop. We're gonna speak about them, but dude, there's other people like us, and that's what I love about this podcast. That it's gonna bring out people, and I hope that like people get our shtick. Our shtick is we're idiots for this stuff. Like we're literally like Dumb and Dumber, like Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels for this hobby, and seeing like all these cards, researching. Brother, we're scratching the surface. Do you realize how many more sets, how many more players that we don't know nothing about, that some dude is just sitting on an amazing tier of stuff? Like, I'm excited about this because I think this is going to just like unite our hobby even more. That we are talking about Scholesy. Like, I've never seen a podcast. Only person, and I give this guy a lot of respect, is James from My Sports Compendium, right? He was making videos on Bex and all this, and shout out to Damien too. With Damien, we what's called like spoke about, and seeing James have videos on Scholesy and stuff. And I'm mad that I never had a conversation with James about Scholesy. Like I never was able to sit down and, hey, yo, tell me about, like, that kind of sucks for me. I'm like, dude. So James, I'll be sending you DMs about Scholesy.
So guess what? I get to be on James's show this season, and I'm going to talk to him about Scholes, and you can be jealous.
Ooh, yes. No. Hey, man, James is good. I love his content. I'm a big fan of James. He's such, man. Yeah, I have a lot of great words for James. He's
I
come to that.
re-listened to his conversation with Matt Hendler
Yeah.
today when I was making dinner for my kids. That was the content I was consuming before we
Yes,
jumped on this.
and I hope he keeps shelling it out, man. He knows a lot of people. He knows their story, and he himself is hardcore collector. Like he's on another level. He's got a ticket for every, like, man, like that dude is out of this world,
I think
man.
he just shared a Scholes. I don't know if it was a Scholes debut ticket, but he's shared a really big Scholes piece
Yeah.
recently. So this is timely.
Scholes is about to shoot up. Watch, man. Next auction of Scholes is in some random ass base card is gonna go for like 2,000. It's gonna be me, the champ, attacking Scholesy. Nah, man, I think they are out there. I just think they're right now on their like kind of like Bruce Wayne thing, and I think as like he's only gonna get more popular as time goes on. I think with a lot of players early on, kind of like gigs, where it's like there's so many other players that had all of this, like, you know what I mean? Like everyone is talking about the same players. So a lot of players kind of get lost in the shuffle. And as time goes on, when you see what they've done, they start to move back up on that list once all the hype fades. Because a lot of players have a lot of hype, and that kind of clouds like the actual truth, right? And
Yeah.
then you start seeing these players, like for me, Scholesy, I'm mad. I'm mad that, yeah, I had him on a list like years ago, but I didn't know nothing about him. I didn't know highlights. I didn't know anything about those teams. Like, and so for me, it's been like I said, like if I'm doing it, I'm sure other folks are now hunting and seeing and reading up on this guy and all these teams. So I think within time, is going to be lit. Is going to be
And
lit.
for the younger folks, if you want to see one Scholes highlight, well, I mean, it's not one, but my favorite is his goal in the semifinals of Champions League in 2008 against Barcelona. He hits like a sidewinding, like 30-yard shot into the corner that he said he sliced, but it was a pretty sweet slice if he sliced it. So go to YouTube if you don't know anything about Scholes, check that out.
Watch that one. And ain't that the game where in the first play he hacks Messi? He drops Messi right outside the box.
I think he did.
Like in the in the first 30 seconds, Messi's on the ground tumbling, and Scholes just walking around like oh man, I saw that highlight, and in my mind, I'm like, he wanted Messi to know, like, yo, you may be faster, you know, but you're still gonna feel me because he
Yeah.
dropped him on the first play, bro. Like that was lit to me. Like, oh man, see, I was watching the games, man.
That
But
was war against two
that
5'6" guys going at it.
that goal was crazy because at the
It was.
distance, he gets the ball and he just cuts in, and then just the way the ball kind of like whoosh, gone. And for me, I thought I even had some notes, right? The Aston Villa, that goal, if you see how he hits it, how his body, like he put all of his force on that wind up, and that ball, like the sound, yeah, like, he's one of the players that you can hear when he hits the ball, even through like the TV, like you hear the
He had a
how
crazy shot.
hard the ball he hits it, and we're talking about this is 20, 30 years ago, and the sound of this dude whamming the ball is that loud. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I saw this one goal he did. I don't even know the years, but I think it was in '99. It reminded me of like a Suarez goal where they passed him and he hit it with like his back heel. And oh, when I saw that, I was like, yo, like that was such a beautiful goal. Man, he's done it all, brother. Like he won, I think 10 or 11 leagues,
2
Champions League
Champions
won twice.
Leagues.
He
Yep.
he he, he didn't play in one final, I think, because of cards. Um,
The
but
only
man,
negative is his England. And
now
this is a super weird. This is an E-Tops England card.
oh, I love the E-Tops.
The E-Tops, for you guys that don't
That's
know,
on my list, by the
it
way.
was a weird, like it was almost like a vault where you would buy these limited run cards directly from Tops, and they could keep them there, and you could resell them, or you could have them shipped back. So there was like
Yeah.
1,500 of these made. But I think like that might hold Scholesy back a little bit. Is that England never had great international success, and he never had like any huge moments with England, you know.
Do you think so? When I kind of delved into that, do you think it was mainly England had so much talent, the trainers didn't know where to put Scholesy? Because I know he played like out of place a lot for England
I
because of the talent that England had, right? England had their midfield was ridiculously stacked.
I
And
think what
so
I've heard, and the British guys who know more about soccer than us can correct us, but because of Gerrard and Lampard, he was sort of playing out of position. And I don't know that those three were as complementary. I think there was like a lot of similarities with those three.
yeah,
But yeah, I think that's the only thing that holds his
hope
market
that
back a little bit. Yep.
that and Dino and all of the and Brazil being Brazil too,
Right,
right?
right. There was some competition.
I played against Brazil. Hey man, that's kind of tough for anybody, right? Now I completely agree with you. I think that right there, and the fact he wasn't cocky or loud, I think that's why he's so under the radar.
Yeah.
But I think if you love football, you love the game, the art form of it. I think Scholesy is at the top. Like he's someone that he's at the top. Like if you ask people that know football, I'm sure you could talk to trainers, and if they were to pick five dudes from the last 25 years of that mid, I think Scholesy is gonna be like top five, top 10 on everyone's list. And I, like I said, man, I'm gonna go back and bro, I love watching those games, those full games, those camera views, the sounds, the commentators. Like I'm sitting there like, okay, no more TV shows for the champ. I'm gonna start watching leagues at like that season. I want to see that whole season.
Yeah.
Like if that sounds weird, but I want to go to like game one, see game one in its entirety, see game two, see game three, see those cups, see like I it's weird to say, but I'm there like that's the content I'm trying to consume in my like, you know what I mean? I want to be on the beach in what's called like Puerto Rico, watching Scholesy hit screamers, right? Like
Yeah.
and I love that we will be able to like do that, right? Because a lot of these players, man, and shout out to FIFA too. I've been watching a lot of they have every World Cup game for free on FIFA. I think it's called FIFA Plus.
I didn't realize that.
And they have every World Cup game, every group game of every World Cup, brother. And you can watch it like no like it's sound, but it's like the actual game sounds. It's no what's called like commentating.
I gotta
But that
check
kind of
that out.
makes it cooler though, because you're watching it like, oh man, I'm watching something rare, right?
Yeah.
So man, FIFA gets props. And I wonder, this is something that I've always thought. I wonder if like leagues and sports leagues are gonna start doing that, offer a service where I could watch every game of Scholesy for the last, his whole career. Like
Yeah.
where I pay a fee or something. If we're paying for Netflix, Disney Plus, like Bang Bros and other types of like, you know what I'm saying, like sites, why not pay for freaking like Man U games of 1999 and see the
Yeah.
whole, you know what I'm saying, like Cups, Champions League. Like I think that for streaming wise, for people that because everything is highlights. So it's tough. Like for Scholesy, it's like, yeah, if I watch highlights of Scholesy, he's the greatest ever. So I went back and I watched a couple of games, and you kind of get a sense of kind of like what, like you said, he's like the brainstem. He's like the one that he's bringing up the ball, his one touch, his passes, like, oh man, it's kind of like Chavi to me, like what's called like Chavi Alonso, like he has this thing where man, it's beautiful. James, right? Like where he's dropping the balls from angles and he sees plays. He has these forwards like
There's a little bit of Modric. I think Modric is a better player all around and takes
oof,
guys on a little bit more, but like just like kind of being like that field general. He even has like the outstep pass that Modric has. So like for young guys that maybe want like a little bit of a comp, you know,
yeah,
Champ
yeah,
gave you
yeah.
3 or 4. Yeah.
He's the guy, man. He's the guy.
Yeah.
So man, we're gonna move to extra time, and let me just say, bro, you have amazing Scholesy stuff, man.
You do
I
too.
love
You
I
do
love it,
too.
man. I'm just starting, man. But I already see that Scholesy's about to go up, man. So remember, we pump cards and pump a player, and then we buy it. So
For
all
higher
that
prices.
we're talking, like we actually raise the prices just so we can pay higher prices. That's the daft American in us. You know what I mean? So real quick, before we go to, because I wanted to show like some of the stuff that I got this week, right?
Yeah.
We came with this right here, right? There's like every week we're actually gonna like talk about people that collect. And this one, you mentioned these two, and when I went through, good God, man. I never. First of all, let me just say, I saw he had this like one fellow on here. He had the Andres Iniesta rookie trio in a PSA 10
10.
across the board. Even the portrait 419, man.
Yes. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Whoa, the Scholesy stuff, the like these dudes, the R9, like they got ridiculous like greatness. Like, so we're gonna go ahead and give them their props if you want to do this, because you actually like, I guess, like talk to them more than me. But let me just say, these two dudes are lit. And yes, I'm watching y'all's page, and I'm writing notes. The champ is writing notes.
So this is definitely like inspired by Scholes, but James at Stretford End Cards has an insane collection.
Yeah.
Some of the best Scholes and Beckham, Historical Man United, but then honestly like a really cool vintage and pre-modern collection. So give James a follow. I mean, his stuff, honestly, like I do think like this pre-modern wave of like the British collectors are really impressing me. Like, no, I mean that Scholes auto is ridiculous out of 200.
Come on, man. I saw this and I just was like writing notes, like, okay, I need this.
These are guys I DM all the time asking if they'll sell me stuff, and they say no because they're awesome collectors. But
and
yeah,
he
no,
goes back.
James is the man.
He goes back.
He does.
He's like an English, like he like this is, man. Look at this beauty.
I think he has some. Does he have some best? Yeah.
He is, man. I mean, this dude here is like, wow. I love it. And I love how he like has his cards with the black with the dark background. Like,
It's
man,
nice.
yo, shout out to you, brother. I'm following you. I'm writing notes, and I will be DMing you this week because the champ needs information.
That's the other thing. He is like he's really knowledgeable, and he shares information freely. So great collector.
Cool. Nah, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be like bugging him. And the next dude, holy moly, guacamole.
Okay, so this next
Dude,
guy, Mocard Mania. So
yo,
I've been chatting with him for a while.
he's
Insane Beckham and Scholes collection. Insane Beckham and Scholes collection. And
Megafichas too. He loves
Megafichas too. And he's a great
that
pre-modern collector based in New York, Oregon.
R9. This dude here, man, I'm telling you, man, there is a lot of skilled Jedis out here in the world with our thing.
I
This
don't know.
dude,
I don't know if I should speak out of
incredible.
turn, but he picked up an absolute Scrolls grail on Card Hobby earlier this year, and I wanted to track down who bought it, and I should have known it was him. I'll bring it up once I get permission to talk about it publicly. If I do, I will bring it up. But like he has one of the best Scholes and Beckham collections I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, man. I'm in shock. I mean, he has a lot of stuff that I have, but he's got stuff that I've never seen. And that's when you know it's real. When you see stuff on someone's page that's the first time you see it. Like
He's
that's
the one that flagged that Ronaldinho foil. He like knew about that card and like
see?
was like tracking it. Like he's really knowledgeable, great collector. Give him a follow.
Yeah, no, man, he's on it, man. So wow. Kudos to you two gents, man. Seriously, man, you guys are about to inspire a wave of Americans learning all of this stuff from you guys. Because guys, I'm telling y'all, the more I know I don't know. that's like every room that I like walk in, I always tell myself, you are the dumbest guy in this room. And with this hobby, I still feel like I am at the low, like, because every day, brother, there is more knowledge, more cards, more sets, more stickers, more like info and like that we think we're scratching the surface. We haven't even landed yet. Like we're so behind. Like, well, me, right? Like, I feel I'm so behind on so much in this hobby. And without this, like being able to connect with people and learn about people, I wouldn't know nothing, man. And that's why I feel I've cheated in a weird way, because I was able to kind of like come in and learn all this stuff like fast. Like it was kind of like a crash course every day for me of learning and learning and learning. So shout out to you two dudes, man. Seriously, man. Big time, big time. Next up, I kind of want to go back a little bit. We did the like pickup. So like the last stuff that I've bought, right?
Yeah.
So the last stuff that arrived that I've gotten, it was funny. I saw this online. Let me do this real quick. Put it up here. Doo-doo-doo. This right here.
Oh my.
R9. So this is a Japan release.
Is
R9.
that Nisho, or I don't even know how to
Yes.
pronounce it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I saw this on the Discord, and within like 10 minutes, dude, I FOMO'd two of
You
them.
have like 5 of them.
So those arrived. I also want to show this. This is a player from Colombia. So this is an ultra modern. So please don't what's like throw stones at me. But Kevin Castaño, our future like midfield, he's such a good player to watch,
That's a
man. I just
nice
hope
card.
see him more. Right? It's a gold, Colombian gold. I'm always after.
The other thing
Um,
is I'm still a sucker for rated rookie because,
right? That's
growing up,
old.
like, if I see that rated rookie, I'm like, hell yeah. Oh, look
This
at
dude,
that.
Carrascal, what's called like Nebula from the Copa America set, which right now is probably like one of my top sets, man. I cannot get enough of this set.
That's
This card is
beautiful.
beautiful, man. This card is beautiful.
That
And
is
this one, so this one's funny. This one I was trying to get for the longest time, and I just wasn't able to get it. I don't know if it was one of those where I'll get it eventually. I'll get it eventually. And I missed out on it thing like twice. Now, granted, there's only 10 of these. So when this one came up, I knew like, all right, champ, you if you don't grab this one, it's done. Is you're never gonna get it. So this guy's obviously gonna make a appearance on our show, right? But bam.
Oh, wow. Did Soccer Study have one of those? That's the gold?
No, man.
Is that
If it's his, I think that's funny that I bought it without knowing it was his, but I
oh
am
my
in love
god,
with this card, man.
that's beautiful.
I am in love with this, Matt. Like, oh my god, the image and just like, oh man,
Look at I
I
didn't know
love
you
this,
snagged
man.
that. That's awesome.
Yeah, this was recently, man. This was recently. It arrived this week,
Wow.
man.
Are you an SGC guy, or are you gonna crack it?
I don't, man. So I like the what's called like PSA, but a card like that I know it's rare. Like it is rare. Like I don't care, and it's a
Yeah,
10 an
yeah,
SGC. I mean that's pretty good for me.
it is.
Um, if it's easy for me to send it in and see if I could get it crossed to a 10 and it does, I'll do it, but I don't
Yeah,
see that happening anytime soon. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I'm not in no rush, but that's one of my bigger cards of that player. I collect them hardcore.
That's amazing.
So that one to me, I'm happy. When I grabbed it, I was just kind of like, okay. And I kind of didn't like that. I felt like relieved because, like I said, I missed out on it. So I knew I had to get it. I knew I probably had to overpay. But at the end of the day, what is overpayment, man? We're here in America paying like $20 for eggs. Like, what is overpayment with the enjoyment it brings me? I've been to places where I spend money and I don't get the bang for my buck, right? So for me with these cards, that's why I always tell people I'll buy something and 2 hours later, I kid you not, I don't know what it cost or anything. Like I'm like, because I wanted it, and so I'm very, very glad I got that one. That's a set that I love.
That's an
And a
awesome
player
piece.
that I love dearly, man.
He's a player too, where like I actually might dip my toes in like more modern stuff, because I think his pre-modern stuff, like it's tough to find like some rarity, and it's almost like you have to dabble in some different areas. Like I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
think like even his Topps Chrome stuff, like I don't have any Topps Chrome.
Oh,
But
I
his
got that.
parallels in that 2017 are really
Lit.
nice.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think like he's a player you could dabble up in the modern waters, and you did very well there, sir.
Yes, thank you, man. I'm excited about that one, man. I couldn't believe it, man, until it was in hand. Like finally, it was like I did it. I did it. So next up, we're actually about to close up. This
Yeah.
episode's at an hour and a half. Again, I broke last week's record of lasting longer than an hour. Now I'm getting my stamina in, James. Sorry, I said James, Matt. See, I'm thinking about James. Shout out to James. Actually, man, shout out to James and Doug. That episode was amazing, man.
That was
I don't know if
awesome.
you saw that.
I did.
Doug
That
is
was
someone
awesome.
that I've talked to from like the beginning. Yo, that episode I loved, man. I felt that. I just seeing him and how he viewed it. James, I think, is like perfect for these interviews. I cannot wait for that Matt and James link up, man. I
I
think it's
can't
gonna
wait
be
either. And I had like commented on some of Doug's posts before, just like awesome card and stuff like that, but I never like he's a true collector. Like
yeah.
you got like true collector like oozing out of that conversation. Like
No,
that was so awesome.
yeah, exactly. No, and I think that's happened with every episode except mine. Mine was
Oh,
just
yours was
a
good. Yours
ham,
was
a glistening ham, just like drinking and halfway lit. Um, nah, that was amazing content, amazing episode. I feel now like Doug, it just added more color to. I already had the dude on like a pedestal as far as stuff. Like he's such a cool dude, and he has a podcast that he started way back like years ago. And I went through, man. He's got some dope stuff. Like he needs to start that up again, man. He
I gotta
definitely
check that
does.
out. I actually didn't know that.
It's called Pop One. It's on Spotify, right?
Okay.
And he has like 20 or 30 episodes, man. It's pretty lit, man. It's very
Wow.
good content, man. Because like, man, like we know when someone is like a upper echelon, and that dude knows his stuff, man. Oh my god. Oh my god.
And check what's James. It's my sports compendium
Yeah,
on IG. Yeah, and he's got Desert Island Slabs, which is
yeah,
an awesome show. So everybody
yeah.
should check that
It's
out.
on season two.
Yep,
Season two,
on
and
YouTube.
I can't wait for yours, brother.
I'm
I'm
really looking
dying.
forward to it.
I better get a shout out from both of y'all, man. I'm gonna be mad if I don't get a shout out, man. All right. Next up, so and one of the final things, consolidate phase one.
Yeah,
So I
tell the
went
people what's been happening.
so a lot of nothing. I took out all my cards and immediately realized that this is a huge mistake. Like Matt, I don't want this freaking type of stress. Like I sat there and if you ask me, I want to keep everything. And I know that's impossible. So I figured out, I was like, okay, I made like a little list, right? I have a little list that I was like, I'm gonna follow obviously certain players that I need. So I have my like top 10 list of
Right.
players that I'm gonna go hard for. I have top 8 Columbia players that I'm gonna try to, have like a nice stash of. I have my 4 goats, which are, who I think are like the 4 goats. It's really 5, but like one is like my top dog, which is what's called like R9.
Sure.
But I figured that's the start off list. So everything else after this, I'm only gonna keep. I have it right now at 3 items of key players. So a player like Luca, player like Scholesy, player like Beckham, Figo, right? What's called like Batigol, right? Like
I
certain
know.
players, I'm gonna lock on 3 items, and that's it. And those
I
3
like
items,
that.
like I have to be able to like upgrade to a better item, but I got to remove one of those items and flip. Like so, I told myself because if not, Matt, we both know we're freaking hoarders at the end of the day. And I don't want to go down that hole again. So it's like I told myself, no, if you break it down like that, it's going to be easier. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to move like 70% of what I have and
You have
just
a
have
table.
dry powder ready to go. Because that's the thing. If I break it down like in this way, even R9 is going to get consolidated to a certain extent. So I probably have like
Probably not 3 for
200
R9
R9
though, right?
slabs. What's up?
Probably not 3 for R9. You gotta keep
No,
that.
R9. So I have about close to 300, like 250 to 300 slabs of R9.
Wow.
I may want to keep around like I'm gonna bring it down to about 100 R9 slabs, and that's my favorite player.
Right.
He's the only one that's gonna get that like that amount, and then everyone else is like I'm gonna like chisel away. But this is tougher than I thought, brother. I realize like I don't even know how I'm gonna be able to move all this stuff. It's gonna have to be Comp C. I don't want to do eBay. I already know that that's not the route that I want to take.
No.
I'm
I
terrified
like your
of that.
I like your COMC idea for the lower end stuff. I
Yeah.
like we both know how well the mid-level stuff does on the PWCC weeklies. And then you got to have something in that case at SoCo, right? Seb's expecting you to fill
So,
half that case. You got to move some product.
yeah,
What are you bringing to that?
that's the thing. So for SoCo, I'm thinking about that's something else. The like champ doesn't want to roll around like all them dudes with the briefcases and shit. So I may do a carry-on item. I think that's 30 pounds. I'm
Yeah.
not sure the amount. And whatever card stuff I could fit in there, cards and stickers, that's what I'm gonna take. I'm not taking nothing to show off. It's gonna
Right.
be stuff that I'm gonna move. Um, I mean, it's probably gonna be half of that case, man. I just don't see like me going there and flooding like the whole show with what's called like foot stickers of Dino. I got like 9 of them, right? So it's like I'm gonna move. Like I don't have high hopes that I'm gonna sell a lot, but I do think that I have to move stuff. So I will give good deals. I saw Al say like that there's a lot of times where he'll give like a dude a good deal just because that dude wants that card and it's like part of
Sure.
the hobby thing to kind of get people in. I'm not gonna always try to get maximum value because I don't care. I'm not gonna be the dude checking comps off eBay. All the shilling now, I'm gonna do it based on yes, comps have a certain point that you know what I'm saying that like I could start with, but I also go to what's called like eye appeal because not all PSA 7s are the same. I've
Yeah.
seen a PSA 5 that'll kill a PSA 7. Same as my like foot sticker of Dino. I posted my 5. That's crazy to say this. That's my lowest graded copy of Dino of that foot sticker, and that's the best looking one that I have.
Yeah.
That's why I posted the 5 because it's centered and that's a sticker that's very off center all the time.
Yep.
So like for me, it's like I have a ton of stuff I am gonna take to sell. I'm not too focused on selling. It's like I'm gonna have it and if and it's gonna be there, but I'm not gonna go there to sell. Does that make
Right.
sense? Like
You're going there to hang
trade
out, and if
night,
you sell a few cards, awesome. Yeah.
trade night, I think is where it's at. If I
Yeah.
could trade 2, 3 items for one item I
Sure.
want or this and that, that's where it's at for me. So
Yeah.
back to SoCo. I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about it. So next episode we will have a better update. My daughter, I gave her this little what's called like project. She's gonna be like Quentin Tarantino for me. Champ's gonna be like Daniel Day-Lewis. And we're gonna do like little like like a 1 minute video of just her and me do like trust me, it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be like a movie. I'm trying to win a Oscar. So we'll see how that goes. Man, at the wind up, at the very end, there's always the money shot. So, final thoughts, man. Let me hear it. I love this episode. Holy man,
It's a
this
good
was a
episode.
great
I mean,
episode, man.
hour 40. I mean, we covered a lot of ground. We might have to tighten it up in the future. But no, I think it's awesome
Wait,
conversation. It's all about the cards. It's all about the community. And thanks everybody, like we said at the start, for the good feedback. We want more feedback and we'll keep it going.
yeah, nah. Hey, for me, thank you everyone, man. I appreciate it. I know Matt does. We this started off as just a passion project, man. We wanted to talk cards. Look, the last 2 hours, I would have been talking about cards by myself, like freaking Tom Hanks and what's called like Castaway with Wilson. I would have been talking to myself. So I love that I could share this with you, brother. I'm glad that this is growing, and for all of you that have followed and liked and honestly, man, I appreciate that. Like, I know how hard it is to make this content and to even put yourself out there. So for anyone, even if it's one person that likes it, every like that we got, I was freaking out. We had spoke about 150 views after 3 months or something, and for us to do like what we did with no promotion, no really big like what's called like wind up, we just kind of talked about it, did it, posted it online, and that's it. So to get that response from people, man, I appreciate it, man. So from my heart, my brain, my soul, everything, thank you guys, and y'all are the reason that we do this, because we know that this fills a void. Like, we have folks that do great content, right? We freaking spoke about Alec, who I watch his freaking, that's where I get all of my pricing. So like, Alec is the man.
Alec's the man. I forgot to mention Alec. Alec has a sick Tim Howard Upper Deck card numbered. So like, he's in on this too. So yeah.
So he knows.
He knows
the secret. We're now what's called like Eskimo brothers with Alec. Man, and so me and you fill a void. I think it's two dudes. We're not what's called like pundits or experts. We're just two American boys. Well, men now. We act like boys that love this, man, and we really hope that y'all see that y'all see that we're not acting like we know everything. We're learning, and we love this stuff. So I love y'all. Keep tuning in. It's gonna get better. We're talking about having assistants and stuff in the future. You know what I mean? So
and guests
probably get better. SoCo, everyone go to SoCo. The champ will be there. I'm only charging $20 for an autograph, 30 for the selfie, or 40 for the combo. That's a good deal, man. Trust me, man. Everyone wants to pick with the champ. So, man, appreciate it. I'll be loading this up. Hope y'all enjoyed it, man. Thank y'all, man.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, peace out, man. Next player, we don't know who it is yet, so we're probably going to talk about that right now. But it's going to be somebody good. It's not going to be somebody bad. Peace out, man.
Bye, everybody.
Man.